Welcome to Puvanur RVIR Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. Welcome to Puvanur RVIR Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. We are now in level 5. We are handling the special topic called special placements in various thalas. We had completed Adithalam, Rupakathalam and Tistra Jadi Tripukathalam. We had seen the different positions. We had given you some examples on how to go about it. There are lots of homeworks and the workshops I've talked about, and we will have it in future on continuous basis of how to take it to the next level and strengthen this understanding with much depth and clarity. Today I am going to handle this concept in Kanda Jadi Triputa Thalam, which is 9-beat cycle. Before I get into the class, I will start this class with a Tirukkural. Sitrinam manjum perumai sirumaidan சுற்றமாய் சூழ்ந்துவிடும். What is the meaning of it? பெரியோர் சிற்றினத்தை கண்டு அஞ்சி ஒதுங்குவர், சிறியோர் அதை சுற்றமாக கருதி தம்முடன் சேர்த்துக் கொள்வர். The people who are wise people, they will be afraid to get influenced with the people who are one step lower. But whereas the people who are normal, they will actually try to get associated with those sort of people and try to form because they are happier with that team. So it's a mental game, it's a mind game, how we want to take ourselves in our life. So that's what Thiruvalluvar dwells about in this Thirukkural. With this good thought, I'll get into the class. Today we are going to learn the placements in Kanda Jadi Triputa Thalam. Kanda Jadi Triputa Thalam is nothing but 9-beat cycle. As we learned in Rupakathalam, now as I told you, the rule of thumb is any korvai you can play in Rupakathalam, or in fact you can play any korvai from any thalam, so that because once when you multiply by 3, because it's a factor of 3, Rupakathalam fits in beautifully. So you can take any thalam from the 72 Melakarta thalas or 108 thalas, or you can keep playing. If you repeat it 3 times, you're going to get and land into the place. It's a rule of thumb. It's a fact of truth. Similarly, in Kanda Jadi Triputa Thalam, anything, whatever you play in Rupakam, when you repeat it thrice, it will fall into Kanda Jadi Triputa Thalam, because it's Tisram of Tisram. 3 into 3 is 9. So, I'll tell you the example. If you're going to play a korvai of 12 aksharas, say, 12 is not divisible by 9, but when you multiply by 3, 12 into 3 is 36. 36 is divisible by 9. If you want to play a korvai of 24 aksharas, it is not divisible by 9, but into 372 is divisible by 9. So that's the beauty of this arithmetic here. So, as I always keep telling you repeatedly, the study of art is relational. You need to understand these techniques so that when you're doing a particular solo, you should get all these ideas so that you can quickly formulate your patterns and showcase immediately. Assuming suddenly you are given a solo to be played in Kanda Jadi Triputa Thalam Mukaladam. So if you are falling short of any korvais, you're not out of thinking or thought process to form your own korvais. If you're not familiar when you're starting the journey, you should think about this Rupakathala korvai, because it's very easy. So you can repeat it 3 times so it lands into the sama. So that's the idea. I wanted to table it before I even get into the class. The second thing is simple frills. You should be able to play for all the talas. For example, starting from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When you're playing for Kanda Triputa talam, you can start playing. You should know all these 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up to that, you should be able to play. For example, for 9, I'll explain in Kalai so that you'll understand. Dontaka dontaka dinatam. Dontaka dontaka dinatam. Dontaka dontaka dinatam. This is for 8 beats. If you want to play suddenly in Kanda Triputa, if you want to play for 7 beats, so this is for 7 beats. For 6, for 5, takadinatam, tatakadinatam, tatakadinatam. For 4, jun takadi, mitaka jun takadimi, takadinatam. For 3, tatakadin, din, tatakadin, mitakadi, mitaka jun tantangada. For 2, so when you are given a thala, one less number, you should try to have frills as many as you can for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. You don't have to do for 1 because it's a very small number. But until 2, you can actually have different patterns for 2 beats, different patterns for 3 beats. You should have your vocabulary dictionary. Laya vocabulary dictionary should have many tirmanams for 2, 3, 4, 5 pockets of different things. And if you can use it ready-made, you can use it at appropriate places. So it will have variations. All the time we don't have to play the same tirmanam again and again. Talanga in the tam, talanga in the tam, talanga is an example. Taka jun, taka dimi, taka jun, so you can use some interesting phrases. You can play all these phrases like all these you can play. All these things you can try to embellish. So these all you have to go back to my learnings. You have to listen to the tapes and how people are playing different abhiprayams, and all these you should have some sort of a grouping. So these are all the grouping exercises. So once when you do that, you will be able to play all these things. So having said that, in Gandajati Triputa for this Kaladam, Arayadam, Mukaladam, which is nothing but half beat, 1 beat, 1.5 beat away from the bass, which is 2 aksharas, 4 aksharas, 6 aksharas away from the bass, how you can play all these items to that place, those places. Those are all the positions by which RTP are typically formulated. And when you go advanced, when you're trying to play for a seasoned artist, typically in a concert, they will have a ragam, tanam, pallavi. A pallavi might have, I'm going to deal with RTP concepts pretty later in that as we part of the level 5 curriculum. I will be touching upon this topic. But these are all the placements. When I'm talking about the placements, you have to understand from the placements till the midpoint. From the midpoint, what is the spacing given? We will be talking about the later half how it comes up and get up to the placement. How you have to formulate, how differently it has to be the first part, second part, we'll deal with it separately. So for this 2 beats to 8 beats, you should try for all these placements. So again, I'm repeating the placements din, dhimi, takdina. So din, tak, dom. That doesn't change. Dhimi, tak, dom. That doesn't change. Takdina, dom. That is the half beat. I'm repeating each class. I want you to nail down this understanding perfectly. Tad din, tad dum, tad dum. That's for the Araidam. Takadimi, tad dum, tad dum. Tadadadadad, tad dum, tad dum. Tadarigadadagad, tad dum, tad dum. This is all for Araidam. Rendigala Araidam. Typical places. Then the next one. Takitta, ta dum. Tangata tadimita, ta dum. Takataka dinata, ta dum. Tangata tadum. 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 All these are synonyms for 1.5 beats shift from the bass. So these all are the concepts which should never vanish from you. These are all the basics that should go very firmly into your head. Now let's look at a chorway. Chorway is nothing but a sequence. Let's see first of all what chorway we are going to play. I'm going to take few examples of Kanda Triputa chorway itself, and I'll also take a sample of Rupakatalam chorway and see how it befits and how you have to play and practice for the different placements. Takadinatong, 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 tadikitata, 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 tadikitata. So the first of all, the rule of thumb, before you even play a chorway, you should establish that it is right. It is semantically right, the format is right, the sequence is well formulated, and there is no deviation from the grammar. That is one you establish by putting it Kalai. Then the same thing when you're playing in Rendikalai, you have to ensure that it comes for Rendikalai Talam Samam to sound. Takadinna tong, takadinna tong, takadinna tong, tadikitata, tadikitata, tadikitata tong, tadikitata, tadikitata, tadikitata tong, taditakadam, taditakadam, taditakadam. So now we established that for Rendikalai also this chorway befits properly. Now the shift of placements you should try now. Now let's try for Mukaladam. So this sort of confidence and assurance should be there before you even attempt a chorway to play for a particular placement. So even for this we did for 1.5 beats later. You can do it for 1 beat and a half a beat. That can be a homework for you. The same chorway, how if I tell in a Vilamba column? What if I do, if you're assuming if you have to play this in the lower column? Takadinnatam, 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 tadikitatum, 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 tadikitatum. This is the chorway. In Velambam, if you want to tell in Mukhaladam, how will we do? We will try, I will demonstrate that. Takita, takadinnatam, 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 tak, tum-tak, tum-tak, tam, katak, tak, tum-tak, tik-katak, tum-tam, katak, tum-tak, tum-tak, tik-katak, tum-tak, tadum. So, this is how you should try in a Velamba column, in a male column, with a pause, like a drunken monk. You have the Tadikitatam can be played, though it's a small phrase. Palagar Mani used to play in a much in a refined way of the same Tadikitatam. Ta, ta, dum, ta. So you simple Tadikitatam, but you have to give that big feeling in the presentation. I'm giving you all these examples because this is not the only way to present, but there are many ways by which your imagination can take you to a different level. Another idea, as I told you, any Rupagathalam chorway multiplied by 3 times will fit into the Kanda Triputa. So let me take a simple example of 12-beat Rupakathala chorway and repeat it 3 times and get to that place. For Arayadam, let's take for this demonstration purpose. Takadimi is the push from the bass. Takadimi, tadittum, gradadum, tatum, gradadum, dum, gradadum, tadi, ketatan, tadi, ketatan, tadi, ketatan, tadi, tum, gradadum, tatum, gradadum, Dum gada dum. Tadikata 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 tatit dum gada dum. Tatum gada dum. Dum gada dum. Tadikata 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 tadum. Tadum. Tantangada tanta dingada tantangada tanta dingada tantangada tanta. So that's in the half landing you can finish with a tirmanam. You got the point, right? So 12 beats is the Rupakathala Korvai. So 1, 2, 3, 4, after the push, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It ends here. Then the next one, it starts there. So you should know the demarcations of where all it cuts. It may not be summum to summum because it's not a Kanda Triputa Talam Korvai. It's a Rupaka Talam Korvai. So it ends there, then it starts there. Then you need to know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It ends here. Again, the third cycle when you are playing, it should start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Tadum, tadum. It lands there. You got the point, right? So that's how you should be very clear in your thinking and the concepts of how to play a different thala korvai in fit it into the Gandajadit and some other thala. Now, let's also take a complex korvai and try to. I'm going to give you a homework to all of you. This is a little complex korvai in Gandajadit Pradhanam. I want you to try and tell it in half a beat, 1 beat, and 1.5 beat shift. Takadinata, 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 di ketta tumta di ketta tunda. This is the Korvai. I taught you in Gandajadi Tirupatatalam Korvai section in level 4. If you look at it, that will be there. I've explained with the notes and with the documentation. So I want you to try this for Kaladam or Edam Kaladam because this large part is tricky. So it's a 6 beat. So that's the phrase there. And that phrase, when you play for half beat, how the settlement is happening. When you play for 1 beat, how the settlement is happening. When you play for 1.5 beat, how the settlement is happening. That will come only by when you tell it and you play it, you will know the positions very clearly. So this same idea, when you have a song complex ending, that part you should try to do in some other thalas as well, so that you get the grip of the thala. Okay, those are all the learnings I want to put in here. Like Rupakathalam is a straightforward, you start from samam 3 times, it gets befitted. But if you want to do some other thala korvai, you need to work out the math behind it. If it's 14 akshara korvai you want to play, for 3 times it's 42, you have to work out the math behind it. So 18 into 3, 2 is 36, 42 is greater, so you have to take another cycle. 18 into 3 is 54. 54 plus 1, if you are going to play for Radam, it's totally 55. 55 minus 42, after 13 beats, if you start a Misra Chapa Korvai, it will perfectly fit. This mathematics should come to your mind off your shelf. Only then you will be able to, then it will be scientifically right. You will be able to play perfectly when you take from that place. So 55 minus 40 is 13, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And if you take it here, Mr. Chapakorvai, 3 times it will come and sit into the arayana. So that's the confidence level I want you to all develop. This doesn't go just stop with Mr. Chapakorvai, you can tell Ganda Chapakorvai, you can tell Aditala Korvai, you can tell some formulated short Abhipraya Korvai. You can take anything and try to see how it all fits. You can play all these games. As I told you, it's a workshop, like workshop study groups. Then with few people, if you're around, then you can interestingly, each of you can play around it. And same korvai with a small, with an extension in the front part, and then it's ascending in the front part, descending in the second part. You can formulate interesting sequences, and also you can assemble it and then do it. Also, the Korappu part, what I talked about, that which is a topic by itself. We had dealt with it in many classes. Aditalam, Mishra Korappu, and Rupakatalam, Gandakorapu, we have seen all those things. Even for the placements, you can go and then do these korapus. Till that placement you can play, that'll become more interesting. Because when you know for fraction, right? Because 18 and 1/4, how you have to play, position it when you have to play korapu there. Can we play korapu at all? Can we play half? Because it should be divided into perfect half. So 18 and araksharam, maybe for a half a beat, 19 beat when it is a circulated number, you can do all these brainstorming. Clarity, you should get it before you even get into the korapu concepts. We will get into the reviews later. I will conclude this class with a Mora Korvai of how to go about doing it in a Mukhaladam. And before that, typically, I will ascertain and ensure that this is the perfect Mora Korvai for Kanda Jadi Triputa. You have to repeat the chord 3 times, but I'm stopping it for the purpose of demonstration. But this one is a perfect valid candidate for using it for all the shifts of Kaladam, Arayadam and Mukaladam. Now let's take an example of say Mukaladam. Mukaladam is a little complex. I will explain with that because so the other things can easily follow. So I will try with Mukaladam only. Then the thumb, dom, get a dum, tang, and the thumb, tack it at the tatikit at the tackit at them, tatikit at the tackit at them, tatikit at the tack, dum, get a dum, longer than the thumb, dum, get a dum, longer than the thumb, dum, get a dum, longer than the thumb, tack it at them, tatikit at the tackit at them, tatikit at the tackit at them, tatikit at the tack, dum, get a dum, longer than the thumb, tack, dum, get a dum, longer than the thumb, dum, get a dum, longer than the thumb, tack it at them, tatikit at the tackit at them, tatikit at the tatikit at the tatikit at the tack. Tatum, that's the assurance because this is a crescendo. Towards the end, you're going to play this for the Mukaladam, for the singer to take the song at that particular place. So that's the crescendo. You have to be very careful. You have to be rest assured what you're going to play. And with confidence, if you can play, that gives a lot of energy and you will get applause and recognition. That's how you have to play. This is one of the samples, but you can take any Mora Korvai, whatever suits you. I've taught you some different aspects earlier. You can use that, or you can even formulate your own, as long as it falls into the grammar, because forming a Mora is no big deal. As I told you the concept also before, so it's no big deal. So you just have to play it right with the right effect and tonal effects. I'll see you in the next class with the perspective of Misraja, the Jampathalam approaches. I'll conclude this class with the Tirukkural. நிலத்து இயல்பால் நீர் திரிந்து அற்று ஆகும் மாந்தர்க்கு இனத்து இயல்பது ஆகும் அறிவு. வாட் இஸ் த மீனிங் ஆஃப் இட்? நீர் தான் சேர்ந்த நிலத்தின் இயல்புக்கு ஏற்ப தன் இயல்பு திரிந்து அந்நிலத்தின் தன்மையுடையதாகும். அதுபோல மக்கள் அறிவு அவர்கள் சேர்ந்த இனத்தின் இயல்புக்கு ஏற்ப அமையும். It's a fantastic comparison Thiruvalluvar makes with water and the people. The water, when it gets associated with whatever the form it is, if it goes to the ocean, it takes a different form. If it goes to the wastewater, it takes a different form. So it gets the characteristic of that particular environment. Similarly, the people also, the type of association they have, typically they are also oriented in their thinking and their living style, everything. That's what Thiruvalluvar dwells in this Thirukkural. With this good thought, I'm ending this class. I'll see you in the next class with the perspective of Misrajadi Jambathalam, which is a 10-beat cycle, how to go about handling these special aspects of placements in a detailed way with examples.